The average able-bodied traveler does not have to do half as much planning as a physically disabled person. When planning a trip, people in motorized wheelchairs need to do research far in advance so they don't find themselves in a dangerous situation that they can't get out of. Therefore, advanced planning is necessary regarding the airplane restrictions for motorized wheelchairs, as well as arranging ground transportation to and from hotels. Recently, our host Donna Yeager had a vacation in Hawaii, and tonight she discusses wheelchair access around Waikiki Beach with guest Jeanne Yeager regarding how to avoid the pitfalls of vacation access obstacles. Now, here's our host, Donna Yeager.
Hi, I'm Donna Yeager with On the Move, and I'd like to welcome our very special guest, Jeanne Yeager. Welcome, Jeanne.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mom. Well, we recently were able to go to a very spur-of-the-moment but fun trip to Hawaii. Now, the average person, I don't think, has to plan quite as much as a person with a physical disability. So we called the airline to see what the possibilities were of, airplane flights. And I don't like the possibility of, hopping from one flight to another because it's difficult. So we tried to get a direct flight from San Francisco to Hawaii. Let's see, Oahu, the main island, or Waikiki area. And as a result, we couldn't find anything, right?
Well, we had a limitation because we had air miles that we were using, and we had to stick with one airline that had that situation. And you're right. I mean, we just were stuck with having to go from Sunnyvale to Oakland to get the airplane that goes direct flight to Honolulu. And whatever it took, we wanted to go to Honolulu.
Yep. And we also had to tell them that because I have an electric wheelchair, it was very, very important that they put in the documentation that I had a gel cell or a dry cell battery on the chair. And that way the airplane wouldn't explode, which is kind of important,
And also, it's eye-opening that now they start to acknowledge this. They finally, after all these years of traveling, you've done a lot of traveling in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And you've had airplane situations where the crewman tore the wires out of the back of your electric wheelchair, and
they completely ripped all the wires out. So
your helpers had to put the whole wheelchair back together again, and
no, they couldn't put it together.
Sometimes they couldn't.
No. Anyway, so what we did
this time
is
it was better.
We put notes all over the chair, on the seats and on the back of the chair, on all sides and the front of the chair, saying, please do not remove any wires, do not disconnect anything. It is ready to go, and it will be safe during the flight. So we did that, and thank goodness when I talked to the ground crew directly as I was going from my electric wheelchair all the way up to the actual plane, and I transferred into an aisle chair. Right. But when I transferred into an aisle chair, that's when I told the ground crew gentlemen that please do not disconnect anything else. It's ready to go the way it is.
Now, in fact, I showed them what needed to be undone, and I actually, while they were pushing you in on the aisle chair, I helped them pull the battery plug, charger plug out.
But we specifically told them.
And had little signs all over everything.
And not to touch it after that. So, yeah. And actually we called the Independent Living Center there in Hawaii, and they were very helpful. They talked with us about the ideas of, transportation from the airport to the hotel. And so that was wonderful. Nice fellow by the name of Andy was our
gave us some good leads.
Driver.
Very nice, very accessible, and it's just a small vehicle. I mean, I was surprised that there was a way you could get sort of a ramp into the vehicle. And what would you say that was? Sort of like a 3-seater or 4-seater, or it was a.
No, it was only a 2-seater.
Oh,
the
and
driver and the passenger. and then I was in the back. The wheelchair took
Right.
up the entire back of the minivan.
Yeah, the actual minivan had a seat that would have accommodated people sitting in the middle, but
Without the wheelchair.
It flipped. Yeah, it flipped up and out of the way,
Right.
so that then your wheelchair just rolled into the
So-
taxi.
Anyway, they were very nice and
It was great.
very accommodating, and pretty on time too. We had
Really?
a difficult time going from the airplane to the luggage area because it was way far away, way far away.
But the helpers met us at the doorway of the
Yeah.
airplane, so that somebody pushed me because I had hurt my hip. So the two of us were in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
And so the helper pushed me while they were helping. Donna was able to get her chair assembled again.
Right.
I helped point out what to do as far as the
And I was racing
plug.
through the airport trying to get to the luggage area so that we weren't too late for the van service. So, and then also our customer service agent was very helpful, and she documented everything that we needed to
The airplane,
emphasize for the wheelchair safety and for my safety getting into the plane. I haven't flown for a long time because I was pretty afraid after 9/11. So as a result, the chairs are much smaller. The seats are much smaller.
The airplanes, they've changed the shape of the
there's
airplanes.
no more bulkhead.
It's a curtain
There's a curtain instead of a nice big solid wall.
between the first class.
That was scary. Anyway, as a result, the aisle chair was like
Very tight fit
get
in the
through.
aisle chair.
But but we did it. We made it one aisle past the bulkhead row.
What we thought was a marvelous idea. The bulkhead seat was recommended for us, and we thought it was going to be nice and roomy. Donna doesn't need
wasn't.
any room on her feet at the moment, so
I don't
she
need a
didn't
lot of
need leg room.
Leg room.
So the problem is that they had these rigid armrests in the bulkhead
Right.
that wouldn't flip up like it would
Because
usually.
I really wanted a window seat, so we went one aisle back, and they lifted all the armrests up, and I just hopped over, ping, ping, ping,
To the-
3 seats over to the window seat.
And you
It
were
was
so
marvelous.
relieved to be able
I
to
loved
have that
it. It was great.
window seat. Yes, you just rested
It was so much fun to see
next to the window.
as we took off and to see beautiful Oakland, San Francisco, the bay, and it was very pretty. And
And
it was fun watching the ocean, and
Yeah.
I saw a whale. That was cool.
That's right.
Anyway, long story short, we really enjoyed the first part of the adventure, and then when we arrived at the hotel, that was an whole other story. We were told that it was a wheelchair accessible room,
A roll-in shower.
roll-in shower, and they even told us the measurement of the height of the restroom, the toilet.
And
anyway,
the bed was too high.
yeah.
So,
So,
you built an actual ramp. Or
Yeah, to be a proactive, I built a ramp to scoot from the wheelchair up to the top of the bed.
and they considered it as medical supply on the airplane,
Oh yeah, so
so that they didn't charge us for that ramp that you built.
$50 per. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Okay, but so yeah, there was a learning curve, that's for sure. But when we actually got to the hotel, we found out that the bathroom was not accessible. There's no way the wheelchair would have cleared it, and I did a little diagram. But
Yeah.
but literally, you went in the bathroom. The mirror was like 50 feet high. The disabled person would not be able to see any of the mirror areas. And then you went past that to where the restroom was. The
Nice
toilet,
roll-in
and-
shower.
But there were steps down in the roll-in shower, which totally defeats the purpose. Whatever. And the seat was really dinky and super low in the shower. So
Yeah, the shower had a nice seat that would have been fine.
but the toilet was such a ridiculous angle that there was a wall. Like super tall people would have hit their knees against the wall when they're sitting on the toilet because there's absolutely no room. So the wheelchair couldn't transfer. Hello. So literally the only alternative that they gave us was, well, you can use the bathroom in the lobby. Great. Well, it's a beautiful hotel and it's open, and so the the homeless people literally would come in and use the restrooms in the evening, middle of the night. So they locked the bathrooms in the lobby from
night.
8 p.m. until 8 a.m. in the morning. So I was like, no problem. So we used that.
Oh, but we found out the employees' bathroom was still all open. We could use the employees' bathroom.
Yeah, but that's another story. Anyway, so
accessibility is in the mind getting better in the mind, but theoretically the designers who are making these new things.
The designer said that he receives so many complaints from people that when you walk into a normal hotel room, they can't stand it when they walk in the door and they look to their right and they see a toilet. They're staring at a toilet when they walk in the room. So this guy's idea was, you'll never see the toilet.
We'll hide the toilet behind a wall.
Yeah, he hit it so well that I couldn't use it. Okay, so anyway.
But your design is what you would say.
Yeah, I did. I really want people to
if they design it in the future,
ask me.
You don't have to see the toilet because it won't be in view, but it'll be in an angle where a person in a wheelchair could use the toilet because there's an open shower behind there that's lovely.
Yes, but I mean, if you just turn to the right, right past where the the stupid design of the original toilet was, if you just turn to the right, then you could transfer easily. I forgot my medical prescription. That was really stupid. And
I forgot it.
Hello. Anyway. So luckily we found out that Long's Drugstore, I love Long's Drugstore. They still have them there in Hawaii, and they were wonderful, and they filled the prescription, no problem.
But they connected with CVS here.
Right.
And all they did was look at the computer, and everything was wonderful. I went and took a taxi cab from the hotel to the Ala Moana shopping center, which was about
that was
3 or 4 minutes away, but you have to take a taxi because I didn't know how to get there. And he dropped me off at the Longs.
But we took a bus a couple days later and found out that they're accessible, but they're really crowded. So never try to go on a, 4 or 5 in the afternoon time frame when every homeless person is
sweaty, hot
on
Hawaii.
the bus. Ooh, that was exciting.
But it was only $1 if you were a senior or a disabled person to ride the bus number 8. Mm-hmm. And it would go right from the shopping center to Waikiki Beach, which is where we ended up at beautiful Waikiki.
Yes. Anyway, and then, but we were very, very lucky also because when you went out to the beach area, it was all accessible. There was a beautiful boardwalk that was parallel with the ocean, and just gorgeous. You could see Waikiki to your left, and the fireworks of the Hilton Hotel to your right, and just a beautiful area. And it was really cool because over by the Hilton, they had a wonderful shopping area that you could just kind of meander around. And here in the middle, you're looking at this beautiful little koi pond with huge koi fish. And then what do you see but penguins? Hello, penguins.
In Hawaii.
Live penguins. It was cool. So we spent a lot of time looking.
We looked at the penguins. We thought we were
turtles,
fascinated.
Very cute little turtles, too.
And they took turns eating the fish with the feeder, the trainer.
Yeah, the food. The trainer was feeding them.
They took turns.
It wasn't live fish, Mother.
They
were not live fish.
Well, no.
Anyway, but it was fun to watch. Definitely entertaining. And then we enjoyed the luau. That was a lot of fun. And Mother, planned ahead to do some of these things that you got to do about 8 or 9 months.
I could do it on the computer.
Earlier,
I lined up all of the luau information, and they gave us a front row seat,
right,
which was so wonderful. And then, but before the luau actually happened, they had entertainment on the lawn, and we got to have a picture taken with a handsome young Hawaiian man and a lovely young hula lady. Hula girl. Yeah, lovely young woman. And so we had a precious moment.
Fun.
And it was a sunny time. That was sunny.
But also I really enjoyed the swimming pool because they had a lovely lift that was wheelchair accessible, and the lift brought me down into the water, and I was able to exercise every single day I was there. And the water, I don't think they even had to heat it. Because
no,
Hawaii is so beautiful.
It was wonderful.
Wonderful with the nice warm temperatures. That the water was very comfortable.
And they had several pools at this particular hotel where this was only for 18 and older.
Oh, yeah.
And mostly older.
I tried the kiddie pool, too, but that was a little too rough.
Hectic.
Screaming children, Yeah.
But that's normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
They were cute children.
Cute kids.
Yeah.
But a lot of little teeny itty bitty youngsters but whatever. Anyway, okay. But the other thing that was fun was they had a glass elevator, and that's where I was able to take the photos of the beautiful pool from the 5th or 6th floor, and then you went even higher up to the 12th floor, and you got a gorgeous view of the ocean, and it was very pretty, really.
But every floor you had a different view. You were taking pictures from every floor.
Yeah.
And this beautiful glass, and it was aiming right at the ocean, right at the forest area, and then the beach and everything.
Yeah. It was cool. We really enjoyed that. And we had a penthouse view. A penthouse room.
Our penthouse.
Yes, we were on the 14th floor, and it was lovely. We were really very lucky.
The best angle to see the ocean and to see, in fact, a lot of wonderful things we got to see from that beautiful view.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to be a stick in the mud, but I do need to mention that, some people don't feel comfortable being on an upper floor because of the elevators. Usually I don't like elevators, but I tried to clear my mind and tell myself, Donna, we're in Hawaii, have fun, enjoy it, But it is safer to be on the first floor for access to get the heck out of the building if there's an emergency. But, I just said, forget it. But there are people who, disabled people who really want to be
if they wanted to be on the first floor.
They did have handicap rooms that were on the first floor, but it was spectacular to be. I've never been on a higher floor like that. It was cool. And we really lucked out because we were told that on Friday night they had a beautiful fireworks display. And they said, "Oh, you got to go down to the bar, and it's an outside beautiful bar that faced the ocean,
on the beach,
and
the beach
beautiful
bar.
Flowers, and people were walking right past you on the boardwalk. It was very cool. But the one person mentioned that people were smoking, and you're like, and if you don't care for the smokers sitting right next to you, then you could watch the fireworks from your room. It's like, you wouldn't have to worry about that.
What I have to do is mention the fact that the smokers were the people walking on the boardwalk.
Which was right on the other side of the plant.
Which was on the other side of the plants.
Yeah.
But I mean, the hotel itself said no smoking at all.
Right.
But the people walking by would stop and smoke.
That's okay. But anyway, we really enjoyed the view from the 14th floor with the fireworks, because there was a really cool lagoon directly below where the fireworks were being set off. And so sometimes the fireworks were so bright that in the middle of the night, I mean, what time? I guess it was like
7:30 or 8.
8:30 or 9.
Yep.
The lagoon was lit up with this gorgeous turquoise.
And the ocean. You could see a reflection
blue.
in the ocean and the pool with the fireworks up above.
Anyway,
just
it was
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And we could see it all perfectly from our wonderful 14th story location.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Beautiful
Very nice.
view.
So we were very lucky with that too.
And we also saw a rainbow from our wonderful 14th floor.
Right.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I've never seen a complete rainbow before.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful, and it ended up right next to the Hilton Tower that has a painted rainbow on the side of the tower. So we had a beautiful rainbow, and it was next to this gorgeous tower with rainbows.
We were looking for that pot of gold, though.
Well, we could have found it because we saw both ends of the rainbow. It's a first. I've never done that before.
Well, that was cool.
Never seen it before.
That was fun. And like I said before, my mom, planned ahead, and there were things that you could do right there at the hotel. And because I was worried about the chair, the wheelchair battery life, we kind of stuck as close to the area as possible near the hotel. So they had a comedy night, and the comedian was awesome. He was really funny. And then they also had a magic show where the guy was leaving for Vegas the next week. He was.
It was an actual dinner show. They had lovely dinner buffets.
Very nice.
To go with the magic show, and it turned out that the magician had his whole family involved because the beautiful lady that was in the box that got sliced in half was his wife.
I hate when that happens. That's true love.
And then he said he had the youngest magician was going to have his experiment and introduction, and it turned out that was his son. And then one of the other people, he had two sons, and both of them were in the show. So it was a nice family night.
It was very nice. And then we were very lucky, and believe it or not, we were there during Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And so they had a beautiful Mother's Day brunch. Was that free? I think that was free.
Oh, no.
No, it wasn't free. Never mind.
We just paid everything on the bill for the hotel, so we didn't pay anything.
Yeah,
we still haven't paid.
Don't go there. Okay. Anyway, but the Mother's Day brunch was beautiful. It was huge. I mean, they devoted an entire room, a separate room for all the food. And they had a kids buffet, and that was phenomenal. And so that was cool. And then they had a beautiful slideshow of all these adorable kids and
the mothers
mom
and
and
the
children pictures and little baby pictures, mom holding their little infants, and it was just adorable, really sweet.
And you surprised me with a beautiful lei. It was just gorgeous. And it was Stephanata's flowers that were the same flowers that were in my bridal bouquet 62 years ago.
I remember.
That's so lovely. So the lei was white with Stephanata's flowers, and then red carnations to go with it.
Yep.
Pink. No, supposed to be purple.
They're pinky purple.
We
but
like
they
purple.
Smelled, they were very fragrant, and they smelled really good.
A lovely lei.
But I remembered that you had Stephanata, so I purposely, searched around to see if I could
And you had
find
the lei made especially at the florist, didn't you? Did you watch her make it?
I did, yeah.
Now you know how to make a floral lei.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, they did that at the luau also.
That was nice.
You could learn how to make a lei, but it was easy.
At the luau, they had little demos that were going on, and the kids could come and make their own little bracelet if they wanted to of a flower lei.
Right.
And then they had things that were showing about the balls from Australia or New Zealand, how kids could learn how to.
Anyway,
never mind.
Also, let's not talk about balls.
That's not on the ball. Okay.
But also, I also wanted to emphasize that if somebody is interested in, doing some research about wheelchair accessibility in Hawaii or anywhere you want to go, whatever, like, for example, I've heard Italy is not very accessible because of all the bridges and the stairs. Cobblestones, you're like, oh.
But that's beautiful. They're beautiful old
very pretty
cities.
Very pretty, but not very accessible.
I loved it.
But anyway, but the wherever you want to go, you really do need to call not only the airline, but frequently there is in the United States anyway, there are independent living centers. And if you just call the local one, whatever city or state you want to go to, just contact them, and they'll tell you any services that are available to help make your trip a little easier and make it go a little more smooth.
In Hawaii, they had one on like three of the different islands. They had branches of the Independent Living Center, so it was wonderful. It was great.
In fact, one of my clients that I used to have in San Jose
on the show
is now working at an Independent Living Center in Hawaii. Small world.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's wonderful.
I want to work there.
we had an air-conditioned room that you've always.
I had it cranked up.
Yeah, but the ramps all around this particular hotel, and most of the hotels that we visited, all had ramps and lifts in the swimming pools.
And
wonderful.
The signage was very good. Also,
yes.
you know, where there was a ramp, they had the wheelchair symbol, and they said ramp, to make it more accessible. And I took one picture right behind a hibiscus flower. And my friend Holly said that she thought there was a nuclear reactor plant nearby because this hibiscus was like bigger than my head. This thing was a huge flower, just beautiful. But because of the moisture and the rain and the humidity, the flowers are just massive. Very pretty. So that's really nice. That's a neat place, neat way of.
But everything was there, and the funny thing is that 62 years ago, actually 58 years ago, I have our first Christmas card with our little baby on the beach saying aloha.
Not 58 years ago.
58 years ago. Yeah, whatever. But the picture was on Waikiki Beach with my husband and I with our little grass hats on. And that was our first Christmas card with our son, Brett. And then now, 62 years later, we get to go back to Waikiki Beach.
Yay.
And boy, is it different. It is really changed. I mean, it was little one-story stores before, little lay stands that were little huts, you know.
Yep.
And now, big, tall buildings. But at least they are trying to do accessibility. They are making an effort to be accessible.
They're making progress.
Yeah. And the buses were very pretty.
Thank you. Speaking of appreciation, I appreciate you for taking me on such a lovely trip. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And thank you so very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Donna Yeager with On the Move. Have a wonderful day.
To make this world a better place. We're on the move. We're striking out to set the pace. We all can choose to make a difference. Our time is overdue. If we collect our dreams, take them on the move. We're on the move to make this world a better place. We're on the move. We're striking out to set the pace. We all can choose to make a difference. Our time is overdue. If we collect our dreams, take them on the move. If we collect our dreams, take them on the move. So let's pick up our dreams and take them on the move.